决定世界 OK 吗？OK， 我就开始了。
Hello， 大家早上好，我是今天的说书人，所以欢迎大家来到这里，看到这个吃播用肚子翻滚素的新加坡好，我是 Roger 今天呢要来这里在21 Defu Lane 10这里这个地方跟大家分享一本书这本书呢是我自己非常喜欢的。前阵子呢，在 library 界来看呢，让我学习到一些跟素食相关的知识就是72 reasons to be vegan。好，那今天呢，因为这书里有72个理由、72个原因嘛，那我今天就会抽出一些我自己看了比较有 feel、比较喜欢的部分来跟大家分享好，由于书本是英文的那我请在接下来呢，我就会用英文呢与大家分享。Hi, hello everyone. So I'd like to share this book called 72 Reasons to be Vegan. So you see this book 72 Reasons. Okay, let me try to work with this first. Okay, so I'd just like to share some of the reasons that I see from the book which I have more feel. So you see the number here 01 represent the first reason from the book. So I just extracted some of the part which I personally have more which strikes me more to share with friends here today. So it's saying that veganism is happening in a very major way. So what is this major way of this vegan thing? So it's okay. So you have to see that from the context of this book, back in 2014, you're saying that only 1% of Americans identify themselves as vegan. But 5 years later, you see that the number of reported vegans skyrocket by 600%. So there are more people going into vegan, and this is in the US. Okay, and also in the US, there's this Plant-Based Food Association. They reported a 20% growth in the US supermarket sales in 2018. That's more than $3 billion. So you see this Miss Simon, who is the group executive director, she actually pointed out this. The plant-based food industry has gone from being a relatively niche market to fully mainstream, and plant-based meat and dairy alternatives are not just for vegetarians or vegan anymore, so it's just like for everyone. Okay, and also there's another point that I like to share on this Google trend. So back in mid-November 2018, which was like few days before Thanksgiving Day, this vegan Thanksgiving was actually the top diet-related search on Google Trend. And globally, you can see that there's more web search for vegan-related topics. And they are reaching all-time highs, with Australia, UK, and New Zealand leading the way. So this is the first reason that we start off with of going vegan. Well, it's something that we all should look into. Next part, I think many of us may take for granted. It's like so normal, like the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. So the book actually also cover on this. Okay, so first I like to touch on the air that we breathe. I think we all like to have fresh air. Okay, so it's like rainforests are the lungs of the planet. But do you know that so in this Amazon rainforest, it's used to suck out about 20% of the world's greenhouse gases. But then the rainforest, which is home to more than half of the earth animals and plants, they once covered about 14% of the earth's land surface. 14, 1-4. But today, and this is as per what I read from the book back in August 2019, the surface has reduced to 6%. So you may be wondering where all this go to. So the main reason here is actually deforestation. And actually when you say deforestation, 80 to 90% is caused by cattle ranching, meaning we clear the forest to raise herds of animals like sheep, cows, okay, for people consumption. So if this actually goes on, right, we'll not only lose the heart and lungs of our planet, we also lost a staggering numbers of animals and plants, which is especially fruits and vegetables that are critical to our well-being. So reason number 22. From here we learn to eat plants, save trees, and breathe better. Okay, so now next I'd like to share on water. I think it's also essential for us to live. We need water. So then do you know that 2.5% of the water on our planet is fresh and only 1% is readily available for human consumption? So where does a lot of all this fresh water goes to? So here, it actually goes to livestock. It's not that like cows and sheep drinks all the water. The crops, the plants, the things that are required to feed them also use a lot of water. So over here you see that just an average cow, it consumes some 750 pounds of feed each month until she's ready to be butchered, which is normally around 2 to 3 years. And in the process, they will need water for hydration and power washing of excrements, which will be like their waste, their waste that they produce, and the cleaning of heavy machinery used during slaughter. So the book also touched on that, but that part I think is a bit too brutal, which I will not actually go into detail here. Okay, just when I'm talking about this, I actually take a look. I think on average, Singaporeans, there's this study about 2 years back, we take about 20 liters of water to shower. On average, 20 liters of water to shower.
How much is 20 liters?
20 liters of water. Okay. So how do we relate that? So you see the number here, 1,800. This is in gallons. So to produce 1 pound of meat, as what was explained earlier, need 1,800 gallons of water. So the 150 and the 220 is for the corn and soy. So let's say if I have to eat 1 pound of corn and 1 pound of soy and eat 1 pound less of beef or cow, then we actually save 1,430 gallons. That's actually about 5,400 liters of water. So it's actually enough, this water, enough for us to shower on average 270 times. And if you are too busy to shower, I think it may be the water will be enough to last you like half a year to shower.
How many shower a day?
I think on average 1 hour at least in average.
How many shower a day? I mean, how many minutes do you take to shower?
I think I don't use 20 liters. I believe I'm below the norm, the average.
How many minutes do you take to shower?
I never really count, but I believe within 5 minutes I should be able to get it done. Okay, yeah, so that's the part on water. So, and there's also a recent study is conducted by the United Nations. Then it estimates that by 2050, 2050, half of the world, about nearly half of the world population, they will suffer from water scarcity, meaning they will like be running short of water. So I think this is a good time for us to think into it and see how we can redistribute those water that is used to maintain the livestock industry. Okay, then, this part is one of my favorite. We can solve world hunger. Reason number 14. I mean, personally, I cannot stand hunger. I need to eat. I think hunger is something that is very tough. But fortunately, in our place here, I don't think we really go through much of this. But do you know that actually around the world, globally, 1 in 9 people, they goes to bed hungry every night. So that's about 800 million of the world population. But then, there's also this point to say that there are enough food resources to feed everyone. Although we have enough food resources to feed everyone, but how come we still have so many hungry people in the world? So you may be wondering that, and actually this is one of the key reasons. A lot of the food, right, like corn, wheat and soy that goes to livestock, instead they goes to feed the livestock instead of going to the human. Why is it so? Because the animals that people eat also have to eat. Then similar, I think all like living beings like humans, animals, we burn calories just by breathing, moving and talking to you now. So you can think of the billions of animals that are raised and killed for food every year. Now you may be wondering why we have this inefficient system of producing calories. Why is it like that? Okay. So what we can do here is the middleman, but in this context will be the middle cow, and give the food to the global poor. So you can go straight to eating food like vegetables, beans, wheats, all these. So then you can do away with the so-called the middle cow here. So, but then there's also this pointer that I think the author rightly point out that as long as the animal agriculture industry is willing to pay more for the grain used to feed the animals than developing nations can afford for the same food, the global poor will still remain hungry. But then there's also a good news here. We are producing enough food worldwide to feed everyone in the world. So we actually have enough for all of us. And there's actually this research done by researchers from Lancaster University. I think it's in England, a more country. They're saying that we're producing enough food to feed the world's projected 9.7. I think the world population now is around 7 plus billion. So projected 9.7 billion population in 2050. So from this, what is the takeaway that I like to share? So we're back to the point again here. So this finding from the study is to encourage all of us to replace most meat and dairy with plant-based alternatives. Okay, yeah. So these are some of the reasons. Next, I'd like to share a few of the reasons on the benefits of vegan or vegetarian for individuals. I'm a vegetarian. Okay, so one is your skin will look amazing. Just now someone told me I have wrinkle already. I need to eat more vegan food. Don't so near, I paiseh. Okay, so why is it so your skin will look amazing? Okay, let's take a look. Now I think there's still another study. So this is reason number 6 from the book. So it says that there's a study published by the Archives of Dermatology. I think it's related to skin one. So 1,300 predominantly plant-based people in New Guinea and remote regions of Paraguay could not be diagnosed with a single pimple over 2 years. They find these people 2 years go and study them, cannot find a pimple.
How could that be?
Yeah, why is it so? How could that be?
How could that be?
So it could be well down to the things that we eat. So I think one of the key things that is pointed out here is the dairy products. But it's not just the dairy products, it also could be what goes into the dairy products. So the dairy cows, they are given artificial hormones and antibiotics that boost milk production. So it's like, all this chemical injection to boost all this production from the cow, like the milk. And all these chemicals, right, they actually trigger this one I go and check already, is something like pimple, and it causes the pimple breakout when consumed by humans. Okay, so here have another study. This one, I think this name a lot of people will know. Harvard University, very Tokong University. So it says that there's also researchers from this Tokong University called Harvard University. They followed 6,000 girls aged 9 to 15 for a few years to see if there was a link between diet and skin appearance. So one of the key conclusions of the study found that positive association between intake of milk and acne. So this also, the test was done on girls only. So they want to double confirm they go and find teenage boys to do the same test, and also confirm that it's the same finding. Okay.
You check about your skin first.
My skin, you come so near, I paiseh, but never mind. So this is there's also other studies that also suggest that excess calories, sugars, too much of sugars and meat also cause our body to pump more acne causing oil. So chut you, the you chut is the cause all the pimple, all this. Yeah. Okay, so from here again.
Somebody say that you don't have 皱纹 and face.
Sorry?
Somebody said that your face is good.
Oh, thank you. Is that a compliment? Oh, thanks for the compliment. Let me continue. So again, from this part on your skin looking amazing. So one of the key takeaway for everyone is cut down or cut away or cut out the animal products to clear out the acne. Okay, then taking food with high antioxidant. So what is high antioxidant? This high antioxidant, it protect the skin, promote growing skin tone. So example of this food, mainly they are fruits and vegetables. So like broccoli, spinach, Popeye, my favorite cartoon character, always eat that. Beets, pumpkins, these are just a few examples. So you see, one of the good things of veganism, your skin will look amazing. Okay, next on this also, then I'll touch on, like to share on fiber. So I think just some general sharing on what fiber is. So basically, right, it feeds the good bacteria in our belly that can help with immune function. Okay, so there's also another research that says that fiber shows other health benefits. They like lowering risk of diabetes, heart disease, and several types of cancers. And this is also, by eating more fiber, it's also a good way to achieve healthy weight. And you have more regular, normal bowel movement. So I think if you have enough or the intake of fiber regular, right, I think you'll tend to have lesser problem with constipation. And this is only found in plants. Okay, so you see meat, dairies, and eggs do not have that. So we need to drink lots of water as fiber absorbs it best. You drink lots of water, right, because it works best when it absorbs water. So I drink some water, okay? Okay, yeah. I think I need to come next one. So also talk about cholesterol. I think these are the more common things that we normally hear. So cholesterol also is like just a quick sharing. It's a waxy substance that the body uses to build new cells. So our liver pumps out the cholesterol that one needs. So what happens when there's too much cholesterol in our blood? So it causes like long-term narrowing of one arteries, reduce blood flow and damage the heart. So there's all these blood clots. It gets scary. I mean, experience things like heart attack. Very scary thing. So again, there's another research. This one in 2019 from this Northwestern medicine in Chicago. It says that adults that consume most dietary cholesterol, they have significantly higher risk of death. Okay, especially from cardiovascular disease. So mainly over here, I like to just share that people who consume less cholesterol have lower risk of heart disease. So this is explained by the researcher. Okay, so over here, okay, let me get back. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me just, so in short, right, trying to say that cholesterol, they are only found in animal food. So if you take plant food, right, they are exactly the opposite. They contain zero dietary cholesterol. Okay? And now, okay, to the current situation that we are in, I think this point I must really bring up and share with our friends here. It's like, I think we are all going through this now. Pandemics like COVID-19 can be prevented. So I learned this new here called zoonotic. It refers to illness caused by viruses, bacteria transmitted between animals and humans, then from person to person. I think this, we all know, is how the coronavirus pandemic started. So again, there's a study from findings by the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Actually, about 60% of all known infection disease and 73% of emerging ones are of this zoonotic origin. So this can happen when people come into contact with flesh or bodily fluids of sick animals. Okay, so this should be 2012. There's this research that it actually shows that about pandemics. Okay, so I just like to summarize here that for these pointers, we have outgrown the dated system of using animals to produce meat and milk, and it's killing us in many ways. I think this also a very strong reason, a good reason for us to consider going into vegetarianism. Okay, then I think, and this is the pointers here, is about it's basic, do unto others. So there's this saying, I think this one is in Chinese something like I think someone wrapped it up 孔子的中心思想是个人，人的表现是己利而利人，己达人，己所不欲，他勿施于人。说己所不欲，勿施于人 ，do unto others. So it's like treating others the way you want them to treat you. So can you imagine? Would you like to be like shut out with chemicals and growth hormones from the seconds you were born, and spend your entire life where you could hardly breathe, become so fat you could hardly move, and terrified by the sounds of pills and meat being slaughtered? And then you know that what happened next? It may be like landed on someone's dinner's plate lah. Okay, so here I like to share: kindness begets kindness, cruelty begets cruelty. 善有善报，恶有恶报。当然就是 treat others, human and animals, as you would like to be treated. So 就你要人家怎么对待你，就要怎么样的去对待别人。我想动物也是相同的，我们也是要好好的对待它们哈。好 ，so we have to be aware, choose consciously what you eat, so we can create a world that has more awareness, a world where conscious choice make it a better place for us to live in. Okay, thank you.
Why were you a vegetarian?
Yeah, so for me, why am I a vegetarian? Okay, I was a vegetarian for like 12 years already. So for me, the reason is I think I like the part on environmental protection, and also it's about, for me, it's more on environmental protection. And also I like to share, because I see my food right in front of you, I got a bit excited. My favorite vegetarian duck rice here from the store right behind me. Okay, yeah. So I think this part on the vegetarian duck rice, I think before I go into that, I just like to share, we are, again, like in Singapore here, there's this PETA, I think it's what People's for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. So in 2016, they have this publication where they shared that actually Singapore is the second most vegan-friendly city in Asia. So I would say it's very easy to find good vegetarian food around Singapore, and especially for this, my favorite duck rice. First is very good for the pocket. This plate of duck rice, my favorite store, the duck rice is 2块半2.50 OK， 刚才我的英文讲的不是很好，现在我来用中文跟大家分享一下哈。你看这边有黄瓜然后我的最爱的辣椒还有芋头还有这个素的鸭肉还有豆干好，那其实把它吃完对我来说是没有问题的，它的是非常可口非常就是很滑的那种感觉了哈。那这里呢，就等一下我会吃完了，现在就先跟大家分享一下哈。这就是这个素鸭饭，就在这个地方也是蛮特别的，是 Defu Lane 就是一个商业区可以来到这边呢，可以找到这里这样子的素食那我们可不可以来我要现在他可以好，来好现在好来大家好，让我戴一下口罩，我要介绍一下这里非常慈祥的一对夫妇，他们好的，他们就是在这边卖这个素食了刚才就有了解了一下，其实他的这个素食呢就是从1985年就已经开始了。1985年我这边透露一下我的岁数，因为对我来说年龄不是秘密我刚刚出世没有多久，那就这样子推数就做了，看1985到现在应该有35、36，对我的数学应该没有算错了，36年了如果我算错，请你帮我改正一下好，那就是来这边跟大家介绍一下，看看这里那这个我最爱吃的这个素鸭饭它都是每个星期一跟星期六都会在这边介绍就是它的 special， 你看到一下可能那个 special 的 list 可以让大家看一下
哪一个？那有鸭饭在哪里？
所以你看 Monday and Saturday Monday， 所以这边大家可以看Monday and Saturday 就可以来吃 duck rice如果要吃 chicken rice 就是 Tuesday 跟 Friday 来
可以带自己的盒子来打包
也可以带自己的盒子来打包这样子的话呢，我们也可以一起提倡环保
你为什么吃素啊？因为不要杀生呢。你吃素多久了？10多年了。跟我们一样，我们在努力推素
是啊，10多年了，谢谢你也是一起来推素
对， 我们在推广素食，现在在推素食。
对对对。
呀，我们很希望多一点人可以来救动物。对。你想，在安哥1985年 ，right？ You want to say something here？
要，看，好，来，可以啊，来，我们不好意思啊，安哥安迪打扰你们一下哈。来啊，跟我们的朋友们一起说个 hello 一下，我们这里非常安哥安迪哦，很好哈。
多久了？
吃素多久了？10多年了哈，40多年了。
为什么吃素？
为什么要吃素呢？
健康哦。
哦，为了健康哦，有40多年了。那安哥安迪呢也有吃素，也有30-40年这样子了哈。84年哈。啊，对哈，84年哈，所以也是吃素了30多年了。大家也一起来吃素哦。再跟大家讲，这个就是在德芙莲这里有非常美味的素食，尤其是我的最爱素鸭饭哦。哦，大家也可以来尝尝哈。好的。
我们新加坡的食物。
所以我们在这里呢，也可以找到哈这里。而且还有一点，我觉得安哥安迪有一个重点也是哦，它的这里的食物啊，大致上2块钱、2块半啊，你就可以吃得到了的哈。
鸭饭也是2块半。
对，鸭饭2块半哈。
你这什么地方啊？
哦，这里是在后港的小心哦，这里是在德芙莲哈。
看一下，好，大家。这地方很特别的。
这地方非常特别。好，来这里其实这里哈，怎么来呀？因为我比较逊一点的，今天在这里跟大家讲一下，我不会骑脚车啊，所以我只好走路来啊。我就从我家，我其实也住在 Cape View 啊后港那一带哈。
走多久？
我就大概走了30到40分钟左右吧哈，就来这里。那其实我跟我太太啊，就是我家师姐，她也很喜欢吃这里的素食啊。我们都会尽量说每个星期六就一起来这边吃啊。不过她比较不想要走路，她就骑脚车。大致上骑脚车也好，走路也好，我们注意安全呢，一起来提倡素食，一起来推广环保啊。这个我觉得还是希望可以大家一起来做的啦哈。好，那可以。好，大致上我还有一点点时间吗？我想借这个机会来感恩我生命的老师啊，因为明天就是10月24号了，在这里我要感恩我的一位老师，他就是给了我很多的鼓励，很多的激发，给我有很多学习的机会，就是李文祥李老师哦，谢谢你给我这样子这么多的机会，这么多的学习，那也鼓励我要勇敢的活下去。现在呢，我还可以跟师兄师姐大家一起来这里推素哦，那也鼓励大家一起来吃素食哦。好，那在这里呢，在结尾之前呢，还是要再跟大家分享多一个哈，就是希望大家呢可以一起来，就是再来一次哈。刚才作者没有看清楚哈，吃播哈，用肚子翻滚素的新加坡。等一下，我这个可以再来哦，吃播。用肚子翻滚素的新加坡，祝福也感恩大家，我们一起来推素哦，加油，感恩。比较逊，不会推。